Good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? We've got a little bit of a COVID update from the Seattle Seahawks. We've added one player to the COVID list today, Bryan Mone, a relatively important but nevertheless backup defensive tackle on this team. He has been put on the COVID list. He is vaccinated. He tested positive. He may have not been able to play in this game anyway because he had a knee injury. So, all things considered, this is pretty good. We're down one player who we may have been down anyway. So, while it would have been nice to have him, of course, this is not what I was talking about in my doomsday scenario yesterday. And I think some people still don't totally get it, okay? That video I made, or excuse me, not yesterday, earlier today. This is not about the Seahawks missing a few players because of the COVID stuff, okay? This is not about this team, oh no, we don't have DJ Reed now, we don't have Travis Homer now. For one, those guys would have missed the game on Sunday anyway. And for two, missing guys like that, missing a couple of guys here and there, like a DJ Reed, a Brandon Shell, a Travis Homer, a Kerry Hyder Jr., that's just business as usual for a team during an NFL season. Injuries happen. In this case, instead of injuries, it's COVID, but the effect is the same. You miss a few players, you find a way to overcome that loss. You use your depth, you use your strengths in other areas of your team, and you find a way to get it done anyway. Teams do this every week. So, as of right now, things seem good to me. All right? The only thing that has identifiably changed because of the rescheduling, as of this moment, is Jalen Ramsey being able to play. And again, I don't think the NFL stalled a game just so Jalen Ramsey could play in it. The concern is that over these next 24 hours, somebody will, or some buddies will be added to the COVID list that makes this unreasonable for the Seahawks. Makes it so we have 20 plus players who can't play. That is the concern. That is what I am keeping an eye on. That is what is going to actually make me angry. That is what is going to make me feel like the NFL is just screwing us. But Bryan Mone, no. So, all right, good news so far. However, there's still time. We have 24 hours approximately, about 24 hours until kickoff in LA. We could see more Seahawks added to the list, could see more Rams taken off the list, and we could see a role reversal by the kickoff where we're the team that can't field a real roster, and the Rams are the team that is just down one or two guys that, again, teams have to deal with things like that constantly. Missing a few players because of injury happens. Sometimes missing a lot of players because of injury happens. But what isn't tenable is losing half your roster because of a virus that spreads like wildfire. So as for what might happen over the next 24 hours, we have no way of knowing who might get infected, who might test positive. But one thing that people are really keeping an eye on would be the status of Tyler Lockett and Alex Collins. A little bit of news from the News Tribune here in their hideous website about whether or not Lockett and Collins have a chance to play in Los Angeles. So the key sentence here is the league is giving the Seahawks and Rams until 1 p.m. Pacific Time Tuesday, so 3 hours before kickoff, to make transactions for the game. Meaning that if Lockett or Collins can produce a second negative test by 1 p.m. tomorrow, then they can play. So that makes it far more likely they're able to play. Normally, the deadline would have been today. Normally, it already probably would have been a done deal. So maybe those guys can use those extra hours to produce that second negative test, and they can get out there. And look, getting Lockett back is worth a whole heck of a lot of Bryan Mones. Just putting that out there. I would rather have Tyler Lockett out there than have 10 Bryan Mones out there. So if that is the trade we end up making, that is a trade well made. But we got time, right? For all we know, the Rams are going to activate everybody before kickoff. For all we know, we're going to have a massive spread. So I will keep my powder dry for the moment. The NFL will be spared my wrath for at least another day. But we will know a lot more tomorrow morning/afternoon on whether or not the NFL is actually going to go through with just plain screwing us. And I'm sure that they would still at that point make us play the game, so I'd be interested to see what happens after the game. So let me know what you guys think down below. I can't think of given how fast this thing spreads, having one backup player who might have not been able to play anyway due to injury being out for this game is really, really good. And we should be pretty grateful that that's as bad as it got. And the interesting thing, also while we're here, other than the COVID stuff, we are clean in terms of injuries. Like, look at this. According to the team, every player would have been able to fully participate in practice today if they did a practice. They have some injuries on the board, but nobody was given a game designation. Nobody was indicated as someone who may have missed practice if they actually did practice today, which, of course, they didn't because it's the day before a game. But minus the COVID stuff, and I at this point, I'm sure DJ Reed's not going to be able to play. I'm sure that Brandon Shell's not going to be able to play. I'm sure we're not going to be able to have a Kerry Hyder Jr. We are otherwise healthy right now, or at least as healthy as a football team can be in mid-December. So there's actually no need for an injury report video this week for this game because there really aren't very many injuries to talk about on our side. There might be a few things going on with the Rams, but this is really the important part here. So if we don't see additional infections between now and game day, then we're still the team with the upper hand going into this one in terms of who we have versus who the Rams have. Hope it stays that way. And again, this is not about I think the Seahawks can make the playoffs. I don't think they can make the playoffs at all. But I hate the Rams. I want to win. I want to at least be able to field a real team. I do not want to go into this game just to get executed. I don't want this game to just be a summary execution. At least let me play a real game against the Rams, you know? At least let me see what we got. Even if it ends up being in service of nothing but seeing what you have with some of your players, I want that. If maybe a guy like a Jordan Brooks is going to have a statement game, then I want him out there. I want him out there to have that statement game for us to say, ooh, maybe this guy has a higher ceiling than we thought. So, hopefully, things stay good. I'm out of here. Peace out, go Hawks. Let me know what you think down below.